Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. Well, how's it going? A collective good? We're all good? All right, we're here? Okay. So Cindy and I joined the choir for this trip to Ely Cathedral. God, when was that? Like years ago, I think. A few months ago. And going to another country is interesting. And going to England in particular, for me, I learned so much. Like this. Do you know what they call French fries in England? Chips. Do you know what they call chips? Crisps. I learned that on this trip. What? Chips and crisps, right? But those little things like that, those little differences make up a culture, don't they? Show us that we're just a little different. We do things just a little differently. But one thing that I learned over there, among others, that's pretty much the same here and there is this. Both of us, both people in England and people here in America, realize that human beings need beautiful places. Human beings need sacred spaces where we can pull away from daily life and experience something greater than ourselves, something more than just my own individual wants and needs and whatever else. We need it. Our souls need it. Somewhere, some places that are beautiful and sacred so that we can pull away from the daily grind of life and experience something more so that we can then go back into life. Knowing really at the heart of life, we're not alone. There's something more. Places where people have gone for centuries to find refreshment and renewal in the midst of life. Places, really, to put it as bluntly as I can, places where we can go that help us just by virtue of the beauty and the sacredness of the space, help us to experience the presence of God. That greater thing, that greater presence than ourselves. Places like here, right? They don't build them like this too much anymore. Beautiful, beautiful spaces like this that hopefully are conducive to opening up our hearts to something greater than ourselves. And you realize people have been coming here to do what you're doing, to pray, since before the Civil War. In the reading from Hebrews, we heard about a great cloud of witnesses. Well, each time we come to places like this, we join in with all those people who have come before us to say our prayers so that somehow or another maybe our hearts can be touched and we can take that out into life. And that's true for here, and that's true for places like Ely Cathedral where we went in England. There was a sign outside this gigantic cathedral. It's huge. And on the sign it said, people have been praying here since 637. Talk about a cloud of witnesses. And the coolest thing of all is that our choir joined in with that cloud of witnesses. Joined in with such beauty. And you guys would be so proud of them. So, so proud of them. Because they added to the sacred space. They sang every night for evensong, every evening. And in their singing, they really, really did open up, at least me and I think others, open my heart, open my soul, open my mind to that greater presence we call God. It was so beautiful Well, why don't you judge for yourself? Because here's them singing. Could listen to that forever, right? Because our souls need it. Our souls need sacred places and sacred spaces and sacred people because we just do. Because we do. Amen.